Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Cheers. Yeah. Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I am Helen.
And we are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, where we
I've changed our location yet again.
dye yarn and make bags. So it's sweater weather. It's really quite chilly out.
Fall happened overnight.
I'm having citrus sunrise. It is yummy.
As am I.
By Celestial Seasonings. And I stopped at a farm stand on Saturday and got some local honey, and I'm very happy right now.
I'm going to start off apologizing for the ambient noise. Part of the joy of September on the island is it's a construction boom.
Yep.
Everybody had to hold off until after Labor Day, and now it's just like there's construction all around us.
There's a lot of work going on in the pool that's being put in next door.
Right.
7 determined little men, and I'm not joking, working day and night. Who can give me that quote, where that quote is from? 7 determined little men working day, 7 determined little men working day and night for her.
And Amanda.
You don't get to guess, and no cheating and looking it up, just if you know it. Anyway, and it's Tuesday. I'm blathering. Shall we go into questions and comments?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's do questions and comments, shall we? Okay. All right. Marianne says, okay, Helen, you now have to say Irish fishermanish 3 times fast.
Fishermanish?
Fishermanish.
I don't even think that I need the Irish to screw me up.
You're right.
Fishermaness.
Okay. All right. So, can you tell me the name of the cardigan you showed? I couldn't find it. Thanks.
It's The Bee's Knees by Thea Coleman.
Okay. Pamela Henley says she's enjoying the Sharon show too, but it's starting to feel never ending. She's on clue 4. She's using the Great Alone, the Rose Window. Wow, that is from a few years back.
Well, she goes even further back.
Dervishes and Bangs and Fuchsia. But the cotton is gorgeous too. She has another shawl going too, but she needs the urge to start some socks. I know it starts getting cool out.
Yeah.
And then everybody, I just want socks, you know? She also wanted to know if she missed the Try Wizarding results. No, you did not, because we haven't done it yet. So, do we have the spooky hallway? Somebody wants to see a dark color with the spooky hallway.
No, we'll do that later in the week.
Okay, all right. So, Nancy, we will do that later. Excuse me, on another day. All right. So Jackie Smith says, for the Knicks, could you show me what the gorgeous red would look like with Joy or Jersey Beaches? All right, so
the gorgeous red is red.
This is red from our
Red Riding Hood.
Red Riding Hood, okay? And here's Joy. Wow, look at that.
Which is gorgeous because the red has pink undertones.
That is really, really pretty.
But I always go with red and white or cream.
Yes.
There's just something so classic about it.
I know, really.
So I think that would be gorgeous too.
So this would be for the Knicks shawl.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I think those would be really, I think the red and white, the red and the cream from Jersey Beaches would be really, really good. Okay. Let's see. Heather says that she needs Moody Moon for socks, but it's close enough to her Clemson colors, and she needs to get some red to make a scarf for the nephew. Well, you know where to get it. We will talk to you tonight about that. Beth Arner says she would like to see 2 other color combinations with Breakfast at Tiffany's for a 3-color shawl. So we will put that together with the other one. We should make a note of these so that we know that we want to do it. Okay, so that is pretty much it.
Okay.
All right. So today we said that we wanted to talk about leftovers and what you can do with leftovers. And my great idea, my great shower thought from yesterday was, not everybody wants to put $100 or $200 towards an advent calendar. It's a lot of money to invest in minis. So I thought, if you start at the beginning of the year and every time you finish something, you take whatever leftovers you have and just put them in a brown, like an individual baggie, or wrap it in a little bit of tissue so you can't see what it is, and then put it somewhere, by the end of the year, you're going to have close to an advent calendar that you can open up. and you know that you're going to like the yarn because you picked it to work with already. So, and you could even swap with somebody else doing it if you wanted to. So you got all new yarn, but I think that would be a great way to build up your minis so that you can do a project, because at the end of the year, it has now become a big thing for designers to make things for the Advent minis, so that you know you're going to be there's going to be a whole bunch of new things coming out. Corey Eichelberger is going to be working with us on a project for ours.
Shayna from Yumi Yarns is planning a mystery knit along
Right.
to do with ours. So,
and then there are Helen Stewart puts one out every year. Who else does it? Is it Amber O'Brien?
Amber O'Brien does them. Casapinka does them.
So there are a ton of people that do them every year. You know you're going to be getting lots of good projects for them. And just because ours are 20-gram minis, a lot of people are doing 10-gram minis. So they're much smaller skeins, and the designs are made for them.
Yeah.
So that, so that's a great way to start saving your minis.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then some other projects. Mary Beth and I are each working on a blanket. So,
I actually have two.
Oh, you have two blankets that you're doing, right?
I have two blankets that I'm doing. This is one that I have a black meatloaf right here that is just like preventing me from getting to anything. All right. This is the one that I'm doing with somebody else's minis. I haven't shown it in a little while because I haven't really worked on it, but it's basically just a garter stitch blanket that is just going to be really pretty with stripes. All it is.
And it's perfect for your leftovers, so that if you're not using a mini skein kit, but you are using your leftovers, and you don't mind different size stripes, then this is the perfect thing, because there's no particular pattern repeat or anything like that. You just do garter until you've done the mini and move on to the next color, and then you get the fun of all the different colors. And I kind of like the different size stripes too.
Yeah, I am keeping mine regulated so that I know exactly how wide the stripes are, but I'm also if I stop in the middle of a row because I ran out of a mini in the middle of a row, I just tie on the next one and keep on going. Right. It's not a big deal. So for this one, that is just, I cast on, I think, 250 stitches and just started knitting. And it's just pure garter. I don't know if I'm going to do anything around the edges, or whether it's just going to be a drape over the back of a chair or something to throw across your lap when you're sitting, that kind of thing. We shall see. Okay. So that's my first one.
Okay, and then I'm doing the Battenberg blanket by Sandra Paul. It's a crochet blanket. And it's all the tiny little squares. So again, for all your little itty bitty minis, because I think this takes like 2 grams per square. So all your little itty bitty minis, you just, when you're finished, make up a couple squares and throw it in a basket until you get enough to start putting it together. So
for this one, you will need a full size, at least one full size skein, right?
Well, you don't have to.
You can just connect all the different colors.
I mean, I'm using Spectre as to my connecting color, but you can just use minis if you want. But I started putting it together. I mean, don't get overly excited, but. So I've started connecting them because this is using our Keeper of Lost Things mini skein kit. So I did up all the 20 grams minis for each of the colors into their squares, and now I'm starting to put them together with the gray.
Oh, that is so pretty.
So just the way she joins it, you have to join all 3 sides of the gray, and once I get into the middle, then I'll be joining all 4 sides. So it's never just like a straight stripe as you're joining. But I'm just going to keep going across until I think it's as wide as I want it. And then I'll just keep growing up.
That looks really, really pretty.
So I love the gray for this particular mini skein set because of Bomber, and some of our other mini skein kits have white bases, so I didn't want to use a whiter, like New Jersey Beaches or something like that. I wanted something where the connecting square would pop. So
That's
I think it's
fantastic.
going to be so pretty.
So you have no idea how wide it's going to be.
No, how many squares?
Yeah.
No, not yet, because I just have to see.
Just keep adding.
Keep adding. So,
Okay.
and it's you make your colored squares, and then you join as you go with the gray. So you make the grays almost one at a time, join everything around it, and then move on.
How
to the next.
difficult is it to join them?
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's like slips crochets along the side. It's really.
I have to do what that means.
It's not hard at all.
Does that mean you take it through like the top row of stitches of each of them and just
bring a slip through?
Kind of knit it together? Okay.
So you get a little bit of a ridge on the back, but who cares?
Right.
So.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's another one.
I really love the gray in between. I think that looks so pretty. The gray with the shower of rose petals is just stunning.
And it will be a great blanket, and then also something to show. It shows how everything works up. But for your little itty bitty pieces,
right?
It's a great thing to do. It's a long-term project. You just, if you're so inclined, as you finish your pair of socks or whatever, just take what's left, crochet up a bunch of squares,
right?
Throw it in a basket,
and then it's all ready to go
and then,
for you.
You know, when you look in the basket, it's like, wow, I got a lot of those. Maybe I should start putting them together. You can start putting them together. So that's a great idea.
Kate from the Last Homely House does it with her paper piecing. She'll just, every now and then she'll have a night where she paper pieces her hexagons, and then she just puts them into a basket, and when she's ready, she looks over and she thinks, oh, I've got a lot of those. She starts placing them as she wants them in her blanket.
Okay.
So, or her quilt.
Yeah.
Her quilt. So, I think that's a great idea, especially if you're a crocheter. And you're not a
crocheter.
Well, I mean, you do crochet, but it's not your the thing that you do most.
Yeah.
So it's not like you pick it up and go, oh, I'm done.
Right.
But you've been doing it relatively easily. There's
no
problem.
I mean, the squares are little granny squares. And the gray is you do the little granny square, and then you, just before you don't want to cut your yarn until you've joined it.
Okay.
So.
All right. There. See, that's another one. Okay. And then my second blanket is my Habitation throw by Helen Stewart. And I apologize, I'm in the middle of a row, but
and this you can use any size mini too, right?
You can. I am using full size minis because I'm using this as a sample for our booth if we ever get back into a booth. But this is my Habitation throw using. I'm going to be using 6 different mini Skeins sets, and it's just a way to showcase all our minis. So, but these can be as small or as big as you have. And like down here, since I'm using the entire mini, my first one is really big because there aren't that many stitches. And now these up here are much smaller because I'm much wider. So that's where I am with this. I'm loving this. I haven't worked on it in a while.
All I want to do is work on my blanket.
I know. So that's the problem. I need somebody to pay me to just sit around and do what I want to do. Okay.
Sugar daddy.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We have a couple of our samples that are great for leftovers.
So if you don't want the whole commitment of a blanket.
Right.
The first one we ever did with minis, it's called the Pieces of My Heart Shawl.
I'm going to go find it.
Okay. And again, like the Battenberg blanket and the Habitation throw, it's 2 sections to the shawl. And each section can be as big or as small as you want it based on the size of the mini that you have. So it's a great big asymmetrical shawl. We both love wearing it. So that, again, with your little bit of minis, if you just have this on the go as you finish something, whip it up, because that's how we all work.
Right.
Or throw the mini in a box, and
when you're ready, you're ready to go. Okay, so this is the Pieces of My Heart Shawl by Gabrielle Vizina. All right. So that's
there you go, you got it.
Okay, I'm sorry for the reflection of the windows. But there you go. That's the pieces of my heart. And again, as big or small a stripe, I mean, these black stripes down here, very small.
And then you can make it the shawl itself as big
Right.
as you want it. You can just keep on going and make it a giant one. We this was sample knit for us, and we just had her. We gave her a specific set of minis. I think we're showing the back.
So you can see we had different size skeins, and
Yeah.
we just gave her a bag of blurbs and said, "Go to town." And that's what came out.
And she went until she was done what we had given her. So
Right.
she did not make it to the size of the pattern. She just kept going. Because we said we wanted it bigger.
It's really a great project.
Yeah, and it's you got a little bit of eyelet work and then garter rows. So you're not going to get too bored, but it's also potato chippy.
Right.
So
Pieces of my heart. And if you put in pieces of my heart shawl, it's about halfway or 2/3 of the way down the page. It doesn't come up near the top. I don't know why, which is ridiculous. Okay, then this one is
the Land of Sweets cowl. This is another. This was, I think, Helen Stewart's first Advent design. And
again, each section can be as small or as big as you want.
Right, and you can stop at any point because this is a very long cowl. But I like them.
Yeah.
You can tell fall is here because I'm putting stuff on me. But so it's a nice, when you're out and it's cold, nice to have it bunched up like that.
It's also really, really nice when you're out and it's cold if you can pull it up over your ears.
Yeah.
If it gets really blowy, it's makes it nice and toasty.
YouTube's gonna pick this.
Yes. So Helen Stewart has put one out every single year since then, and a whole bunch of people do too. So don't think that you have to, if you don't have Advent minis, that you can't do it. And never think that you have to do it to the same number of rows that they do.
You don't have to do the 24 rows. You can do however many you want.
And each of the colors, I mean, each of the little sections can have as many colors as you want, as you can fit in there, so that you just do it to what you have and just keep going.
And then when you're done, just go to the ribbing.
Right. It's going to be a gorgeous, colorful project. Okay. All right. This is a design that Shayna from Yumi Yarns made with some of our yarn. This takes a main color with it. And this is the Tales of Childhood. I'm pretty sure.
2 skeins of the main color, right?
I think so. Okay, so it's the Tales of Childhood collection, and there is a pair of socks that are called the Adventure Anklets. There's a hat that is called the Chapter by Chapter cap. There are mitts that are Fable's fingerless mitts. What she did was she took, this is DK, so she took green, Mr. Carrisford, and Mowage is the pink, and she did main color green with a little bit of pink in the hat, and then she took the leftovers and did the mitts out of those. So those were DK, and then the socks and the shawl, the Story Hour shawl, is our fingering weight. And
it is so pretty because she used Mowage as the main color, and then we gave her 6 mini skeins?
Yeah, I think so. So we've got Carrisford,
Christmas of Hogwarts,
Moonstone,
Susan, Hanging the Stars, and Left-Handed Castle. Have fun storming the castle.
So it was a bluey green combination,
right? So you can use any sets that you want, and you can make your mini sections as big or as small as you want them to be.
Right.
And you get to learn a fun new stitch. Because it's got like a honeycomb stitch to it.
So there's this one.
And then this is, I mean, again, great shawl.
We like the asymmetrical shawls because they're so easy to wear. So then there's some shawls that call for one full skein or 2 full skeins and a bunch of minis to go with it.
And this is True Colors by Melanie Berg. So this calls for, sorry for the windows, 1 full skein and 10 minigrams, 10 20-gram minis. Some of them you don't use the full, most of them you don't use the full 20 grams, but if you got like a 10, 20-gram mini set. And again, this one could be something where if you did not have the full yardage, you could probably get away with making a section smaller than you need. So
that's really pretty.
If you don't like any of those options, all you have to do is go to Ravelry, go to the pattern section and the search and put in mini skein, and there are just pages and pages of projects. So, I mean, there's
Elizabeth Lovick has, this is the mini skein cowl.
I love her picture.
She also has fingerless mitts to go with it.
There's a hat too.
So there's fingerless mitts, and here she is in her full getup. Cowl, hat, and mitts. Gosh, that's a terrible picture. Oh, that's better. At least you can see it. Anyway, so that's one person that she's got 3 different patterns there.
This is an infinity cowl using minis. So there's that. So there's just, I mean, there's tons and tons of options.
Look at the mini skein merriment. That would be a great shawl.
Minis have become such a popular thing, and it's not just meant for purchasing mini skein sets. It's also using up your leftovers so that you use up all, you know, sustainability, use all the yarn.
Sarah Shira has several different gnome patterns that are great for using up little bits and leftovers and things. I love that he has his, okay, did you see that he has his hands in his pockets? I mean, come on.
So there are the gnomes. There's Susan Claudino. She does fun little stuffies using fingering weight yarn. So you can make little stuffies. I mean, really.
This is the one. I saw this and I'm like, oh my God. I should get who it's by. This is the Cassiopeia mini skein shawl by Evan Bale O'Keefe. And
this is just a giant hun wrap.
This is just.
Do you have one showing the stitch pattern?
Look at that. Hold on. Here she is wearing it with a belt, which is really cool. I love the umbrella too. I mean, that's such a great added touch. But here you can see there.
Because it's got some ridges, right?
Yeah. It looks like there's some ridges going down and there's
like
a little bit of eyelets and stuff like that. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to knit.
Yeah.
So
and again, each section is going to be as big or as small as you have in your color. Maybe that's favoriting it now.
I am. Well, I'm putting it in my favorites, and I have an entire section that's just mini skein ideas. So there are some that you can take and run with. Right. Show us what you're making. Come join us on Crafting with the Toads on Facebook, and show us what you're doing with your minis.
Yeah.
And enable everybody else to do stuff with theirs.
Okay. So, and then leave us comments on what you guys like to do with your minis. So.
Okay, quick announcement. Harry Potter 4th quarter is now available in the shop. So if you have been doing our Harry Potter throughout the year and you are waiting for the 4th quarter, it is now there. If you have not been doing it and you would like to do it as well, we'd love to have you come join us. You get 3 skeins of yarn one at the beginning of, well, one at the first one goes out towards the middle of the month. So one will be in the middle of October, then beginning of November, beginning of December. And
we're a little late listing it, but we had to
make sure we were going to have yarn.
Check the state of the yarn and make sure that we would have the yarn to do it. And we are able to. So it's up and live. It will be live through the next week or so.
Yeah.
But then we have to stop it to get the final count.
So that is available. It is $90, and you pay everything up front, and then you get over the next 3 months a lovely package to your door.
Right. And then Saturday is the National Jelly Roll Day, and we had mentioned that we were going to do a table runner online, which we are still going to do. It's going to be a little less structured than we had originally planned, so we're going to do it through our Facebook group. I think what we're going to do is probably do a live to start where we're showing how to cut the pieces, and then we'll come back in intervals through the different stages of making it. We will put up a link to the pattern in the Crafting with the Toads Facebook group so that everybody can get the pattern and see what they need. But essentially you need like 32.5-inch strips and backing and binding fabric. So we will be doing that, and it'll just be kind of like a make-along, not so much a full-on tutorial, right?
Yes, we are making it together.
Right.
And it is, sorry, my mind is somewhere else because I have to remember to ask you something. So it's we're going to try out Facebook Rooms. This is kind of a precursor to our idea for doing the retreat. We want to do it and see if Facebook Rooms is the way to go.
Right.
So we're going to try it with this and see how things go. So I think we'll have a Facebook room up and running all the time so that you can go in and ask questions and people can answer questions and that kind of thing,
right,
and help each other out. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we just have to figure out the whole Facebook Live.
Yeah. So, all right. So we are off to cut fabric and twist mini skeins and get Halloween out as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
We had a couple of people ask about it, and we're pushing for the end of the week.
Yeah.
So, all right. We hope you guys have a lovely day.
Go forth and create.
And we will see you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.